back, but I'm going to pay somebody to do that because it's got drum brakes in the back. And I'm thinking that I might have to replace the booster because, you know, every now and then I have to pump the brakes to get them to work. So, I mean, it's a 94, so it's still questionable. Right now, I'm just out taking a ride with them, you know, making sure that the brakes wear in properly. But as my previous video about trespassers, like, the police department is actually pursuing charges because the guys, like, the officer finally caught up with these guys on another street, and the only way they could have gotten to that street from where I was at was to jump a fence. And she had caught up with them, and all three of them were there, apparently. Like, the one guy caught up with two of his friends on a different street. So she talked to him, and all three of them are like, yeah, the guy was just chasing them. We're just out here doing our jobs. Like, it's our job to knock on doors and ask people if they want stuff. They're like, yeah, look at our lanyards. They had them around their neck at the time. The problem is they didn't have their lanyard up. The one guy didn't have his lanyard on when he came up to my door. And when he came up to my door and knocked, like, he walked up, he looked at the sign, he saw everything. He saw the no trespassing signs. He saw the no solicitation signs. He just didn't care. Well, he told the officer, yeah, there was no signs. I didn't see any signs there. And I have my lanyard. Here's our paperwork. Here's everything. And the other guys had all the stuff. He had nothing except for his jug of water and his phone. That's it. Well, she didn't even bother. She did not even bother to contact me. So I contacted the police again. I was like, hey, what's going to be done about this? And dispatcher's like, well, looks like she already handled it and closed it out. I was like, well, she didn't talk to me. She didn't, like, nobody even came to me. So she's like, well, do you want contact? I was like, yes, I want contact. I want to press charges. Dispatch didn't understand. The actual officer didn't understand. Neither of them knew that it was against the law. Neither the dispatch or the officer knew that it was against the law for somebody to walk onto your property and knock on your door and try to sell something. It's like, yeah, that's why I put it there. That's why I have the signs. That's why the signs say that I will prosecute to the full extent of the law. If you don't want to pay attention to that, then that's on you. I've got signs up for a reason. And he did not care at all. Well, the officer didn't want to do anything really, and she's like, I have to talk to my supervisor to see if it's even legal for me to do this. Well, she was doing that. I told her I'm not gonna take the I don't believe it's against the law. No, I personally know that it is against the law. I have the documents. I have the proof. I have the paperwork. I have everything to say such a thing. It's like I have everything in order. I have video. I have photos. I have everything. Well, I went to the police department, sat and waited. I had to call. I had to call on their little central hub line, and their central hub line is, you call and you get another dispatcher, and then you go, yeah, I'm in the front lobby and I need to speak with somebody. Well, the guy comes and he's like, yeah, I just had a phone conversation with her. She's going over to your house because I asked her if you had any signs up, and she said she didn't know because she only asked the guys that were there. And I was like, yeah, exactly. She doesn't know because all she took the criminal's word for it and then drove off. And she never even thought to go to my house. So he got photos and information from her, and he's like, yeah, I see that you have a sign here, and I see that you have some signs visible. I was like, yeah, there's also 2 signs here and 1 here. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, you're gonna have to send that to her when she sends you the link. And I was like, yeah, I'll send her the video, I'll send her everything. I showed him on my phone the video of the guy walking up, the conversation I had with him. I literally told the guy that what he was doing was breaking the law, and he's like, no, I've got permits. And it's like, no, that is not how this works. That's not how it works. You don't just go and get a permit and be like, oh yeah, I can do whatever I want now. No. But the officer saw the video, saw my signs. I showed him the law, and he said, well, yeah, definitely they broke the law. And he even agreed, like, yeah, when you followed him and you were recording him, that's not illegal, because he said it was harassment, but in order for it to be harassment, I have to have no probable cause. I had probable cause because he broke it. He entered my property illegally, and then when confronted, he took off. Yeah, that is probable cause. So they're going to be charging him, and apparently they're charging the guy with trespassing, and they're going to bump up his charges to a higher level of misdemeanor. Instead of misdemeanor class 3, they're going to be doing either a class 2 or a class 1, because it was like aggravated because signage and whatnot. But they're also going to be bumping it up for all 3 of them, because when the officer talked to them, they lied to the officer, saying, yeah, we had our badges on, we had all our documents right there. So they lied to the officer. They gave a false report of me following all 3 of them when it was just the one. And the 2 other guys lied and said that they were there too and saw the whole thing, which they weren't. So, like, that's going to be big for them. So now they got 3 guys who broke multiple laws, and it's like they're going to be dealing with a lot of stuff with those 3 guys. And the officers are going to be doing a training thing, because every beginning of the week schedule or whatever for the one officer, because the one I talked to at the police station, he was their field training officer, sergeant at arms or whatever. So he's going every Monday, his Monday, he has the before shift meeting, and he talks to people and reminds them of things. And he's going to be bringing the paperwork from the city, along with the municipal code for it, to the officers that he is having that day. And he's going to show them the documents and say, we have to look out for this now, because nobody knew what this was. So that's one more thing the police now get to know about. sure that you have signs. Because if you don't have signs, then it's not trespassing. But if you have signs, then it's a crime. And if the person is not wearing their badge that they get from the city, it's also an even bigger crime because they're required to wear it for their shift. Otherwise, it's something about unlicensed sales. Is if the badge is on, they're licensed. If it's off, they're not licensed. And they sign a contract with the police department and the city saying that they will have it on their entire shift, no matter what. So there's that. But I'm just glad that I'm finally getting it through the heads of these damn officers, and hopefully some of these damn criminals and door-to-door salesmen, hopefully they're gonna